Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome you all in today's lecture, which is related to the errors and editing errors in analysis of GIS. Okay, so what are the different kinds of error are there in case of GIS? We have already studied the different digitizing techniques and all those kind of things, different data sets which are being used in GIS. So let's start with the editing error or analysis error in GIS. So in today's topic, the content will be the GIS flow model, types of error, propagation of error, and the modeling techniques through which we can go for the controlling of these errors. So let's start with the today's topic, that is the different kinds of errors and their propagation of error. So as we all know that geographic information system, if you go through the geographic, 80% of the government data is collected and associated with the some location in space. Okay, so 80% of the government data or the data which we use to collect, whether it is related to some medical issues, whether it is related to some roads or transportation or anything, you can see that is matlab out of all the data, 80% is based on some location and space. Information, attributes, or the characteristics of the data can be called as information and can be used to symbolize and provide the further insight into a given location. Okay, so information about a spatial data, especially, that is called as your attribute. So attributes or the characteristics of the data which can be used to provide any kind of symbolization and provide the further insights for a given location is known as information. And system, a seamless operation linking the information to the geography. That means linking of the geographic and information is generally known as system, where we are trying to integrate all these things, and it requires hardwares, networks, softwares, data, operations, and procedures. So not just the software. When we are talking about a system, we are not talking about only a software. We are talking about a platform where we are able to integrate these geographic and informations in a single platform through different kinds of techniques which may involve hardwares, networks, softwares, data, and operational procedures through which we can join these information. So this is all about the GIS. Then the GIS flow model. Okay, now in case of GIS, we have already studied that we can go for different kinds of operations, which may include the capturing of data sets, then register the data sets with the different base maps, then interpretation of the different data sets, converting it to the digital formats, where we are talking about the conversion of these data sets as per our need, either raster to vector, vector to raster. Then we, after the conversion, we store these data sets into the digital platforms where we are using different sort of computers. Then we go for the processing of these data sets with the help of these softwares or different modeling techniques in the software as per one's need. And then finally we go for the display and the results as a reports or the different kinds of outputs we are able to get it. So this is a complete flow diagram or flow model which GIS use, starting from the capturing up till the publication of the processed data which is related to the displaying of different maps and the results in the form of reports, tables, charts, etc. Okay, then we have to face various challenges when we are talking about this GIS workflow, or we are talking about the integration of these spatial and non-spatial data sets. So we have to go through different challenges. Now, what are those challenges? First challenge, which is related to the characterization of the data, where we are concerned about what is the data which is missing, what amount of error is there, what about the accuracy of the data which we have created using different GIS platforms, what is the certainty of that data sets. So how to characterize all these kind of things, ki what is the amount of error, what is the accuracy and uncertainty, that is a big challenge in GIS data creation or the modeling techniques. Then how to choose the best representation. Okay, we have so many modeling techniques, like in if you see, we have knowledge based models, we have fuzzy, we have ANN. So what is the best, what can represent a particular phenomena, that is very tough job. And how to go for the selection of these representation in best way, that is again a challenge. Then how to support many models in a single software package. Okay, so these are the basic challenge during working with GIS, that how to characterize the missing data, what is the amount of accuracy, uncertainty or errors in a particular formation of data sets. Then how do we go for the representation of data, what is the best method through which it can be represented properly, and then how to support many models in a single software package. These kind of challenges are there. Then accuracy and precision, before we are going for different you know uh, parameters where we assess the error, or where we are sure about the different data sets and their certainty, we have to be familiar with the two terms, which is accuracy and precision. There is a very little difference between these two terms. When we are talking about the accuracy, it is the extent of system wide bias in measurement processes, whether it is accurate or whether it is inaccurate. But precision, that is the level of exactness of the your measurements, how precise it is. Okay, how near it is with the exactness. But when we are talking about the accuracy, it is the extent of system wide measurements, where we are dealing with the whether data is accurate or inaccurate. Okay, but the level of accuracy, the level of the exactness of the data is precise or precision. Okay, then error and uncertainty. When we are talking about the error, that is wrong or mistake. Okay, wrong or mistake is error, and there may be a degree of this wrongness or mistaken data sets. So what is the degree of that inaccuracy, that can be calculated in degrees. For example, the error matrix says that this data is having 2% error. Okay, so error can be measured in terms of the percentage of inaccuracy, okay, or wrongness in a particular data set. For example, we say that this data maybe 2% errors are there, but 98% it is correct. Uncertainty means lack of knowledge about the level of error, or unreliability. That means we are not sure that how much there is a chance of error, but or there is also a possibility that there is no error, but we are not knowing that what is the percentage, we are not sure. But in case of error, we know ki how much is the inaccuracy in a particular data set. But in case of uncertainty, we are unaware of the fact that what is the level of error in a particular data. So whenever we are going for accuracy assessment, then we are sure about the fact that there is a accuracy of 98% and there is error of 2%, and that is accepted because we are doing something with the help of different software, different systems. So there will be surely some inaccuracies, okay, because we have inputted everything in a particular platform and then we are processing the data. So there are, but if there is a error of maybe 10% or 15%, that is accepted, okay, in case of these modeling techniques. But when we are going for the collection or surveying kind of things, then we we cannot accept those errors, because if there is an error of 2 meters in a location of a particular point where we need to go for the any kind of drilling or those kind of things, then that error cannot be accepted, okay. But in case of GIS or modeling techniques, we accept little bit of errors because everything is based on model, okay. So if there is a minor error, then we accept those things. Then sources of error, while we are correcting those GIS data sets, what kind of sources which may leads to the error in the different data sets. So there are many kinds of errors which we have categorized in few classes, that is data collection and input. When while we are collecting and inputting, there is some mismatch which is related to the data collection and input related error. Then human processing, while we are processing, we have commanded multiplication instead of dividation, then it is human processing error, okay. So then we have actual changes, okay, and then we have some errors which are related to the data manipulation related errors, and then we have errors which are related to the outputs of the data. Then we have also errors which are based on the handling of the data sets. Okay, while we are dealing with different kinds of data sets, these errors may generate. Okay, so in case of handling errors, one is the must learn to cope up with the errors and uncertainty in the GIS applications, which can may minimize the risk of errors result and minimize the risk to life, property, and environment. एक, while we are handling those kind of errors, we must be having an information or idea about how to cope up with the different errors and uncertainties, okay, in case of GIS applications. If we know that, we can easily go for the minimization of the risk in enormous results, okay. And if we know this kind of techniques where we are cope up with the different uncertainties, we are also able to minimizing the risk to the life, property, and environment. Like I told you, we are going for different kinds of drilling activities. If we don't know the exact location of the point, if there is a 1 meter of distance in drilling, okay, so we are not hitting the exact point where we need to go for the drilling exercise, we have to again perform for that, which is actually the loss of that particular land, okay, because we have dug down that land. So if we are able to cope up this kind of errors, we are minimizing the risk of loss of property, environment, and life in different applications. Then more research is needed while matlab, or to avoid those handling errors, we need to go for more research oriented. We need to go for different kinds of literature surveys where we have to have the knowledge of different models, what has to be applied in a particular data set, so that the more accurate result can be achieved. If we don't know what kind of studies the people have done in the previous eras, then we are not aware of the facts that what kind of studies have already been done. Okay, for example, I am for sweat, I'm going for water modeling, water resource modeling, or some kind of, so I'm talking about sweat, or I'm talking about AHP. So maybe they are older techniques, but because I have not gone through the earlier research which people have done it, so for me it is a new research. But when it will be published, or it will be get rejected, because this is a quite older technique. There are so many new techniques, because of lack of the literature review about that particular phenomena. I am not able to perform the exact modeling which I need to. So that kind of handling error can be minimized with the research activities or literature review surveys of different things. Then procedures for handling the data and propagation. We have to be familiar with the different procedures. What procedure is has to be applied for different data handling. Imperial investigations of data errors and effects. Okay, then procedures for using output data uncertainty estimates, and then it also incorporates the standard tools of GIS. Okay, so if we are taking care of one thing, that we know how to cope up with the particular types of error or uncertainty in GIS, and we are aware of the recent researches which are needed for a particular model, particular data handling, particular investigation of different things, and then proper standards which recent times GIS tools are incorporating. So we will be able to handle these errors to some extent. What error? These sources errors. But if we are not aware of these few facts, then we are surely going to go for the errors which are related to the different sources of error. Then awareness is also needed. As I told you, we have to be aware with the different techniques, tools, the standards through which different policies are being framed. So if we are not aware, then we are uh, not able to justice with the data which we are using. Okay, so like, if we don't move with the time will start moving by its own speed, but we will be left behind. Okay, so we have to be updated in each and every term if you want to go for these kind of error minimization. Okay, the next point is minimization, use of best available data, and the correct choices of models, methods, or tools and techniques. Okay, so then communication, it should be able to communicate to the end users. Okay, whatever data you are creating, if it is not able to communicate to the end users, then it is of no use. Then it should have a timeline based data set. It should able to forecast the proper things. It should have the predictions and different kinds of this thing present scenarios prediction, and what kind of actions can be taken, and then in future we can able to do the right forecasting. If in present we are not able to predict the data sets in a proper way, or we are not able to go for the different actions in proper timeline way, then yes, of course we are able to perform, or we will be going for wrong forecasting for the future analysis. Then, while we are talking about the model, the pseudo block model, this is a black model where input is given, the model is there, and then we have the output. Then the types of error. Okay, initially what we have studied the error which are associated with the sources of data. Now what kind of errors can be generated? There are three major types of errors which can be generated in those data set. One is the gross error, random error, or systematic error. So first one is the gross error. Okay. Now gross error is generally due to the carelessness of ours. Okay. So that is the gross error. And then prevention by a series of checks and implementing sound procedures that minimize the opportunities for these type of errors occur. Okay. So if we are aware of different kinds of data sets, opportunities, and different kinds of errors, if suppose we have done it some gross error which is caused by the carelessness, then we are procuring a wrong data sets. Now how to prevent these kind of data sets? So by a series of checks and implementing a sound procedures which may minimize these kind of errors. Okay. So by series of checks, quality check of the data, and by improving sound procedures, like for example, I have two or three people of same name. Okay, but there is a spelling variation in those names. Okay, suppose we have a student named Naveen. Okay, so his name can be written as Naveen, Naveen. Okay, Navin. So we know the fact, but in due to our carelessness, we forget. So while we are again, we have to go through the rechecking before submitting the document. So if we are not rectifying it at the time of verification of data set, then we are again giving the same error. So this is related to the gross error. Then we have random error. Now, these are the instinct to the measurement process and exhibit a defined statistical behavior. Now, random errors can only be eliminated by carefully examining the large amounts of redundancy in the data sets. Okay, so how we can minimize? Now, these kind of errors can be there in case of random data sets. The distribution of X with random error. Okay. Okay, so here you can see we have a small statistical error. So why, if we are having errors like this, how we can minimize these errors? We have to careful while doing these kind of measurements and measurement system and design related errors. Okay, so this is how this random error took place and how we can go for the minimization of the random errors. Now systematic error. Now systematic error It is caused by the mismatching. Okay, one thing is or causes of mismatch is models of the process we are using and the reality of the process. There are two causes. One, the processes of the model due to which we can go for the mismatching of two units, or the reality of the process. Okay, so how we can detect those kind of errors? By analyzing the error propagation, by sensitivity of the analysis, or by the parameters which we have taken for the evaluation. So based on that, we can detect these errors, and then we can go for the management of these errors. But these errors may cause because of the process or the reality are different. Okay, then the initial processing errors. So what are these errors? These are related to the topology. Okay, topology means they are not matching with the boundaries. They are not matching with the edges. They are not matching with the proper containment process. Okay, so first error, which is at the stage of initial processing errors, or which can be called as while we are processing the data sets. Okay, so initially processing the data set, first is related to the topology, second is with the layer matching. Okay, we have some different projection systems for each and every layer. In that case, the layers will not match, so that is related to the layer mismatching. Then edge mismatching. Then for example, we are not on the command of uh, polygon common boundary. Okay, in that case, the edges, because we are going for the same boundary digitization twice, because we have not on that command, so somehow we are going for the error where we have edge mismatching. Then the topological construction, because we have not created for the geodatabase, we are not able to build the proper topological constructions. And then we have feature identification related errors. Okay, so where we have errors like we have misinterpreted some features. We have what do you call, scrubland in a area, we have interpreted it as a highly dense forest. So that is feature misidentification. So feature identification related errors are there at the initial stage. Okay, then linkages of these data sets, and what are the factors which are uh, created, or which are responsible for these while we are rectifying, while we are reprojecting, while we are, so we have to go for these different processes in very careful manner while we are scanning the images, while we are transferring the data sets, while we are digitizing the data sets. Okay, or reprojecting the data sets. Okay, or while we are registering the data sets. Otherwise we will be having these kind of errors which are related to the initial processings of the data sets. Getting it? Now we have layer mismatching. Okay, this layer mismatching. Now layer matching is related to the overlaying of all the layers on each other. Okay, so for that we have to maintain this projection system at the same. Okay, it should be on the same projection system. If these layers are not on the same projection system, we will be having a problem of layer matching. Okay, so for or to overcome the problem of layer mismatching, we have to have the same projection system of all these layers, where we are talking about maybe roads, maybe villages, maybe different disaster points, maybe sensors related to subdivisions of the district. soil map of the areas, or some other phenomena, whatever you want to open in the same platform. Then linkage or processing history. Now linkage and processing history is something which is related to the collection of states representing the changes that have occurred over time in a version's geodatabase. For example, we are talking about the LIS. Okay, so you see what property my grandfather was having, that was on his single name. Now when it comes to my uncle, my bua, or my father, okay, the same property, for the same property there will be three holders. Okay, now after my father, okay, maybe he is having four children. My uncle, he is having three children, and my bua, she is also having three children. So now the property which my grandfather given to my three father, uncle, and bua, that has been divided into you know uh, 10 siblings. So it is very important to go for the updation and linkage or hierarchical distributions of these things. If we are not updating these systems, so maybe in the government records, maybe that property is on paper on my father's name and further on our names, but on map it is not being updated. So whatever is there on the paper is not matching with the map which that geo database has been connected. So it is very important that we lineage or process the data sets with the historical data sets, okay, to avoid the different kinds of error which is very common nowadays in case of the cadastral maps or the land information system. So that's how this land information system has came into existence. Then we have metadata. Now what is the metadata? Metadata is the data about the data. Okay, for example, this is the real planet. Okay, for each and every point we have a location, and that each and every geolocation is denoting about some place. Okay, so that is metadata, where we are talking about the data about the data. Okay, so it is a summary document providing the content, quality, type, creation, and spatial information about different data sets. Okay, clear? Then how do we go for metadata analysis? Metadata collection related to the metadata development, metadata infrastructure, metadata repository, and metadata maintenance. Okay, so this is the complete process for the metadata analysis. Now we have the digitizing and geocoding related errors. Okay, so we have till now we have studied one error type, that is the source of errors, where we have studied different errors which are related to the handling of data. Okay, then we have also studied the errors which are related to the modeling related or collection of data related errors, where we have studied gross, random, and statistic systematic errors. Okay, then we have errors which are related to the initial processing of the spatial data sets, where we have studied the topology, layer matching, edge matching, topological construction feature, and lineage related errors. Then we have layer matching this all that we have studied, then metadata, then we have errors which are associated with the digitizing errors, which you have also studied in the previous lecture when we were studying about the digitizing, its types and errors. Okay, so processing errors occur during the phase of the data manipulation, such as the digitizing and geocoding of the data, then overlaying of the boundaries, intersection, then the errors from the registering a vector map. These kind of errors are related to the digitizing error. Okay, then we have the physiological errors of the operators, which may result the spikes, the switchbacks, the polygon nodes and the loops. Okay, so these are the different errors which are associated with the specially digitizing and the geocoding related errors. Okay, then we have the data structures of GIS, where we have talked about the geographic data sets and the alphanumeric data sets, which is related to the non-spatial data sets. So that we have studied in our previous lectures, where graphical, it is associated with the vector and raster, where we have talked about the coordinate system in case of vector, and raster. In raster we have different kinds of datas which are related to the images in terms of aerial photos and different images of remote sensing data sets, or different satellite imageries if you are talking about. Okay, in case of non-spatial data, we have nominal, ordinal, those kind of data sets. Now vector and raster you have already studied. In case of raster, we are more into the resolution of the cell, or we store the data sets in terms of the pixels, and in case of raster we are more into the xy location of a particular point, and we store the data in terms of nodes and vertices. Okay, in if you compare these data sets, that parts also we have tried to cover in our previous lectures, where in case of raster the representations are relatively coarser, of various point, line and polygons, whereas in case of vector the representations are sharper and precise. But the GIS softwares can display both the raster and vector data sets, and only a limited number of programs can analyze both the types of data or make a raster types of analysis in vector formats. Okay, so every data has its own properties. Now few models are there which can be performed on raster, so you need to convert your vector into raster, and some programs are there where which can be performed only on vector data. So in that case you have to again convert your raster data into vectorized form. Then after that, the third type of error, where these errors are associated with the propagation errors. Okay, now what kind of propagation we are talking about, through which we can have these errors? Okay, now propagation occurs when one error leads to the another error. For example, we have scanned our image in a wrong way, so we have made a mistake while we were scanning. Then after scanning, when we are digitizing for different features on the same image, where we have little bit moved, or where we have a little bit shifting while we were scanning that image. So in that case, those kind of, while we are digitizing, again we are making mistake. Then after digitizing, while we are creating some model on that digitized data, again we are committing some mistake. So that kind of error is propagation error, that in the initial phase while we were scanning, if we could have stopped and again scanned that image, so we could not have propagate the error up till the end of the process. Okay, we have stopped the error in the initial stage, but if we have not noticed, unknowingly we have started digitizing on the same data, and then started processing on the same digitized data, then come out with the results on the same data, then that means we are propagating the error which is led by the scanning, and then again proceeded towards while we were digitizing it, then again proceeded when we were analyzing it, then again proceeded when we will be coming out some results. Okay, getting it? So this kind of error is known as propagating errors. Okay, for example, you have georectified some image wrongly. You have given A points GCP to B and B points GCP to A. Okay, so you have made a mistake while you were rectifying the data sets at the first level, and then further the complete information which you will be making through this, that will be wrongly propagated. Okay, then different kinds of GIS infrastructure is needed for these kind of exercises, where we are talking about the different modeling techniques to be applied. Okay, so we have to have desktop GIS geodatabase of different files, we have to have DBMS, we have to have a server where through different techniques we can go for different modeling techniques. So this is the GIS infrastructure we are required, and we also required a skilled person who can go for different kinds of observations, or the techniques who can rightly applied for these models. Okay, so if we have even GIS infrastructure, but we don't have skilled people who can perform different kinds of things. Okay, at different levels we have different errors. At the very initial stage, if we are not aware, we will be indulge into the errors which are related to the uh, you know which are related to the sources error, from where we need to collect the data sets, or how we need to collect the data sets. So at first level, if we are not committing mistake, we are aware of all these facts, or we are aware of how to handle different sources of data from where we are collecting it. So we are minimizing this kind of errors. In second stage, we have these kind of errors. If we are again able to overcome these problems which are related to the gross error, random error, or systematic error, then we are proceeding for the next step, which is related to the pre-processing. So if we are able to manage these errors also, then in the next phase we have the errors which are related to the digitizing, because initial pre-processing we have gone through. If we are able to minimize these digitizing errors also, we know what kind of error can be there because of different digitizing techniques, so we can able to manage these errors also. Then we need to have these propagation errors. We should, if we are able to manage this also, we will be having a good application of these uh, you know GIS applications, because we are able to manage errors at every stage. Okay, so conclusion, if Gross errors are largely caused by the carelessness of human. If we are able to manage it, we will be able to have a good uh, database related things. Systematic errors are caused by the mismatching between the models and the processes. So we need to take care about the system errors also. And the random are instinct to the measurement process. So we need to control all these three types of errors which are associated with the different phases of different GIS operations. So with this, the error part is control. So if you have a knowledge about different errors and how they can be rectified, then you are making this thing possible, that there are very less chances of having any kind of error the data which you are creating. So that's why we have to have the knowledge of different errors in different processes. Okay, so these are some books and papers which we have taken into consideration for the creation of these errors. Now, along with this, while we are going for these kind of analysis, you have to have knowledge about the system dynamics. Other than that, you have to have the information about the different sampling techniques and different GIS packages which are associated with the different selections of different sample points, like TNT maps, NV, ADAS, ITSRI, GRASS, ArcGIS. Okay, all these things, ArcView, all these things you have to have knowledge. Then other than that, you have to have knowledge about the analyzing of different themes, different spaces and time series, and the Ontario based approach of different data sets. Okay, then vector raster formats, you have to be familiar with the different formats of these data sets which are related to the vector and raster formats. Like in vector we have shape files, we have coverage files. Okay, so in raster we have img files, we have the tiff file. Okay, we have the other files formats. So we have to be familiar with the different formats of raster and vector data sets. Then how do we go for the geomasking inside the GIS and outside the GIS? These things you have to be familiar. Then geocoding, how we go for the geocoding of different objects, that also familiar. Then this operation Tiger is given by the US Census Bureau, which stands for topographically integrated, then topographic. Okay, so topographically encoding and georeferencing. Okay, so this is also you have to be very familiar when we are talking about this geocoding of data sets. And then there are different GIS software which are being used for these kind of error minimizations, so you have to be familiar with those also. So with this, I think I have able to commute you different kinds of errors which are associated with the different phases of your data creation in GIS, where we have talked about the errors which are related to the data collection. Okay, or the sources. While you are connecting the errors, if you know how to handle it, you will be able to minimize these errors. Then we have also the errors which are related to the gross, random and systematic type of errors. If we are able to manage them, we are able to manage at the initial processing errors. And then you have to also have knowledge about the digitizing errors, and how you can you know manage those kind of errors. And then you have to have knowledge about the propagation of errors. If you stop the error at the initial stage while you are starting the things, and you have observed that you have made some mistake, if you are rectifying it that stage, that means you are not propagating that error. But if you have not realized it, that you have made some mistake at the starting of a thing, and you are again continuing with the same thing, then that means we are propagating the error till the end. Okay. And every product, whether it is related to the data collection, data creation, data analysis, or data outcome, is will be having error. Okay. So this is all about the errors, uh, and how to manage those errors. And with this, I will be ending my today's talk. If you have any queries, you can again ask me in my next class, or you can drop me mail. Then you can also appear for your quiz through your LMS. And then with this, I'm ending my today's talk. Thank you very much.